morning, YouTube. Robert the Coroner Drap here, and I would have done this video last night, but I didn't have the energy. I mean, I went and I worked out yesterday with my friend. I'm trying to get in shape, and so we went and we did a run. Wasn't anything high impact, but you know, we got there. So I decided I'd throw this together this morning. And I'm trying a new method of taking my notes, wherein I use the memo feature of my phone and do spoken word notes, because it's a lot quicker than me typing. And thanks to Peace, Love, and Guns, my buddy Will, for that suggestion. I'm going to try and just copy paste everything into the YouTube description when I go on ahead and put that together. Last night was the go-home show for Payback for Monday Night Raw. This week coming to us from Kansas City. I've got a few friends who are from Kansas City, but don't care. They started off with a replay of Braun Strowman going bananas last week. They started with the beatdown of Roman Reigns by Braun Strowman 2 weeks ago. You know, they showed the whole thing, him getting tossed off the loading dock on the stretcher, and the ambulance flip and all that. Then they showed last week where he beat down Golden Truth and Kalisto before Big Show kind of broadsided him. I guess I wrote this down. I gotta say, even at his age, which he's got to be more than 50 years old, he's in real good shape. Big Show is. So, you know, kudos. They show highlights of the match that they had last week. You know, all the suplexes and the arm drag takedowns. Really, the impressive stuff. Before showing the implosion of the ring from the superplex Braun Strowman did to the Big Show. Oh yeah, I wrote the ref they had in there, and I keep seeing it. Whenever I keep seeing it, I keep thinking, he took that bump, the implosion, really badly. I hope he's okay. Apparently tonight, Braun Strowman is going to be involved in the first ever on Raw dumpster match with Kalisto. I wrote, that's going to be a one-sided, very one-sided affair. I'm like, why? Why would you? In this, I'll get to my feelings on the match here a little later. We get Chris Jericho coming down to the ring for Chris Jericho's highlight reel. I wrote here, he name drops Southpaw Wrestling. For those of you who don't know, Southpaw Regional Wrestling was a kind of a WWE, KFC YouTube video thing. It's hilarious. If you get a chance, and you get to see John Cena, basically a couple of really big names like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and all these other things. It's hilarious. Go watch it. It's like 6 videos long. It's not going to take you a lot of time to go through it. He attempts to put Kevin Owens back on the list because his original list was destroyed, but is interrupted by The Miz, a massive "you suck" chant starts up. Miz TV replaces the highlight reel. And it's not long before that Dean Ambrose comes out, makes it the Ambrose Asylum. We did this bit already. I mean, why are we doing this? This is the same bit you did last year. You can't have forgotten you did this bit. Dean Ambrose actually brings up the continuity of him and Jericho being in the ring together. And, when he mentions, you smashed a potted plant over my head, he crosses himself. I thought that was really funny. It's like, stop. No. And he's like, peace offering. And he gives him an actual gift. And it's a literal suit jacket that has Christmas lights on it. Like he took a string of Christmas lights, ran it up the sleeves and on the lapels, and wow, that's pretty good. And Jericho's still like, you owe me $15,000 for that jacket, by the way. Miz starts shitting on the Intercontinental Championship reign of Dean Ambrose, and he gets drowned out by yes chants. Dean hits Miz with dirty deeds. And this is right before Jericho declares Maurice to be on the list. Why Maurice? Why? Why not Miz? Why not tell him? Tell your husband. You know what happens? You know, that shit. Would have been better. Doesn't matter. We get to see Matt Hardy making his way to the ring backstage to face Sheamus. And I can tell, and I wrote this here, I can tell Matt Hardy is itching to get back into that broken gimmick. He is just counting the days until that lawsuit's over. Because, and again, more stuff on that here in just a second whenever I get it. Because you can see it in his, like I wrote, you can see it in his eyes, his mannerisms, his body language. He very much wants to go back into the broken gimmick because he lived that gimmick for the better part of 3 years. And it is super popular. I mean, whenever Matt Hardy is in the ring, you could probably be deafened with delete chants. I wrote here, I hope Anthem Sports loses their lawsuit very swiftly because they fucking should. I also heard that WWE is simply waiting for the lawsuit to be over so they can have another draft and split up Matt and Jeff Hardy, because Jeff on his own, just doing his normal gimmick is what they want. They're going to push him main event like they did, you know, back in the day. And so Matt doesn't get overshadowed by Jeff again, which was tragic. He'll be going over to SmackDown and allowed to go back to the broken gimmick. We come back to see Sheamus and Cesaro making their way into the ring. I like their entrance. I like how they've adopted each other's entrance. What with Cesaro wearing a kilt now instead of the full James Bond outfit, and Sheamus and Cesaro both wearing suits and doing the whole breakaway thing. That's pretty cool. I like that. Hardy gets up on the ring buckle. Matt gets up there and does, you know, deletes. It's like, everybody wants this. Anthem Sports, and I know they don't care. They brought back Eric Steiner, Scott Steiner, which, wow. The fact that A, he's still alive, and B, he's still in the wrestling business, that's amazing. And I know they don't watch this show, but if I could ever get a word out to them, guys, you cannot get ahead on this one. There is no getting ahead. Quit now. You are very far behind, and you need to stop this before it destroys your entire industry, because you're very dangerously close to doing so. These two guys are with the biggest wrestling entertainment gig that there is. There's nobody that holds a candle to WWE's spotlight. And what you have to realize is that in the end, everybody wants to be at WrestleMania. Everybody wants to be in the WWE. Most guys never make it there. And when you get guys from that company that leave and come to your company, you've got to treat them right. And obviously these guys didn't. So, moving back in, they show a replay of last week's match of Jeff and Cesaro. And then the handshake between the two teams, showing pretty good, showing good sportsmanship between the two, like both face teams. So I gotta respect you. You put on one hell of a match. Oh yes. I didn't get there, but I'm coming after you. Yeah, that's fine. I feel like this match tonight was going to be a pretty good gauge of Matt's return to the WWE ring in ring fitness, as it allows him to show what he can do versus a very talented worker in Sheamus. Sheamus is good at what he does. I marked out a spot here. Matt Hardy actually hits the side effect on the ring apron. Like they both got to the outside, and he hit the side effect right there on the edge. It's like, ooh, that's dangerous. Ouch. It's at this point we go to commercial again, because it's like, what we have to do, right? We come back, Matt and Jeff. Sheamus actually has the upper hand on Matt, with him in a chokehold, and that he begins to fight off of another spot. He does the forearm strikes he does while standing on the outside on the apron. Like, he's got Matt on the inside, and he's doing those forearm strikes inside. Then he goes to the top rope for a double axe handle drop for a close two. And there was a pretty good tornado DDT by Matt Hardy from the second rope. They go for the two guys slugging each other like once, and every time Matt hit him, and he actually ended up getting the momentum going his way on that one, there were delete chants. Delete, 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 delete. It's great. Delete punch. He sets up for the he does a second rope elbow drop where he gets up there, gets onto the rope itself, and then elbow drop for a close two. The delete chants just got louder when he set up for the twist of fate, and Sheamus pushes him away and catches him with a brogue kick. And this is, he brogue kicks him, he rolls out of the ring on what used to be the commentary side. Gets Sheamus on the apron, runs like he's gonna do something. Sheamus gets hit with a kick. Matt goes to do something, and he gets picked up and just rolling senton. Pushes him back in the ring. Jeff starts distracting Sheamus for Matt, and Cesaro comes over. Hey, no, we can't do this. None of that. Matt Hardy uses the distraction to hit the twist of fate. Pinfall victory for the Hardy Boys. I wrote, oh my God, there was a broken Hardy Boys sign in the crowd. I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but I would love to get a shot of that, because they need to be. They really do. Broken Matt was so much more interesting than regular old Matt Hardy. That's why they brought him back. This is insane. As Cesaro starts arguing with the Hardy Boys, but Sheamus calms him down, and they shake hands. The crowd is rather surprised by the offer. They're like, no, don't do it. But they do. Kurt Angle is on the phone, presumably with Stephanie McMahon. He brings up the Kalisto wanting the dumpster match with Braun Strowman tonight. And before he can get too far, Miz hangs up the phone. And Angle's like, listen, you can't just come in here and fuss at me about stuff. That's not how we do things. You got a problem with another wrestler? Go take it out in the wrestling ring. That's what it's there for. That's how we do things. He says Miz gets a partner of his choosing versus Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose. I'm going to stop right there with my notes. At no point during this evening do we get an Intercontinental title match set for Payback. You've built a feud that in 7 days could culminate. Ever since the Superstar shakeup, 3 weeks ago now? And rather than turn around and say, okay, well, you know what, Dean, you have a problem with The Miz. Miz, you have a problem with Dean Ambrose. I'm going to put you in a match with him for the Intercontinental title. You think you're so good you can do a better job. Let's see if you actually can. And this is going to be like a no disqualification match or a ladder match or something. Put a stipulation on it for Ambrose to get more out of it. So, but no, we don't get that. The title does not matter. It is only brought up to be brought up. Maurice starts jabbering off in French, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, back at you." And I wrote, "Wow, Kurt Angle just bit both his thumbs and gave the with both hands to Maurice, and they showed it." What? We are not in the Austin Attitude Era. This happened last night. We come back to a tag team cruiserweight match. It's Neville and TJ Perkins, who I really kind of like the new heel persona he's put together. It's good. They show a clip from last week's Raw where TJ Perkins beat Jack Gallagher, followed by a clip of Austin Aries beating TJ Perkins on 205 Live and receiving a beatdown from Neville. And Austin Aries managed to put Neville in his submission hold. TJ Perkins comes over, like, either gut shots or cup shots him, and Neville puts him in his submission hold. We get Jack Gallagher coming out with Austin Aries. Gentleman Jack and Austin Aries are at the end of the ramp. They're talking to each other. They're like, "Okay." And then they run in together, and then they just start beating on their respective opponents. The brawl quickly has Neville and Perkins dumped out of the ring. We are sent back to commercial. We come back. TJ Perkins is fighting Jack Gallagher. There was a nice spot, a mid-rope suicida by Austin Aries at Neville and TJ Perkins. He rolls Perkins into the ring, applies his submission hold, which every time he does it or starts to do it, it takes a lot of effort. It's a lot of physicality, because the setup is nuts. Like, he's bent over backwards while doing this, and he's got like your head or something, and the way he does it, he basically, from laying in front of you, he does a handstand and then falls backwards onto his feet. Nuts. But before he can tap, Neville jumps in, breaks it up. Gallagher comes in, starts, beating on Neville. Neville then fires back because Gallagher is not as thin as he looked in the Cruiserweight Classic. He looked like a rail. Now he actually looks like he has muscle on him. Or maybe I just didn't watch enough of the Cruiserweight Classic, and I might do that. I might have to go back and do that. But he hits, but Gallagher then just out of nowhere hits the headbutt on Austin Aries. Gallagher hits the headbutt on Neville. Aries hits the discus 5 arm on TJ Perkins and gets the pinfall. And I wrote this here. As much as I like Austin Aries, he's a great wrestler, and I like the feud that they've put together between him and Neville. I don't see him winning Sunday. I really do not. You want one more. And I want to put a triple threat on it, because what they've built here with Aries and TJ Perkins and Neville works. It's like, okay, we can't just keep putting Austin Aries out there. And personally, I wouldn't have even done it. I would have been on Payback. I would have been like, no, not facing you. I'm gonna face TJ Perkins. I didn't get to face him. I didn't get to beat him. He was our first champion. I want to see if he can. I already know I can beat him. I want to see what kind of fight he puts up. That kind of thing. Just before the. Oh, I also wrote this. I believe it's going to be TJ Perkins who goes in, who's going to go interfere in the match on Sunday, the Payback match, and cost Neville the match but not the championship. So he gets a chance to fight him. So it'll be a triple threat. I want to say SummerSlam. Probably wrong, but just before the commercial break, they announced. Just before the commercial, they announced that the dumpster match is going to happen after the break. I predict there's a 0.9% chance that Roman Reigns will not interfere in this match in some way. It makes sense. It made sense. Lillian Garcia explains the rules of the match before Braun Strowman trundles out to the ring. He grabs a mic and cuts a promo on the crowd. He gets a little bit of heat for it. He readies himself for Kalisto's entrance. We are treated to a backstage view of Kurt Angle talking to Kalisto, and Kalisto's like really fired up. He's like, why are you doing it? I gotta do this. Lucha is fighting lucha style. Go do a good lucha thing. Michael Cole brings up the fact that there are only ever been 2 other dumpster matches in WWE history, but neither one has been on Raw. Mentions it's been 17 years since the last dumpster match. Probably because it's dumb. There was a spot, probably one of the best spots in the match, in the vacuum of the match, where Kalisto's getting in a little offense. He's doing his flippy jumpy stuff. He gets on the top rope, and I guess he was like going for a senton onto Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman catches him basically straight up and down, turns around and hucks him from basically where the turnbuckle is all the way to the other one. Like, that's a lot of power. I don't imagine that Kalisto's a small, compared to Braun Strowman, everybody's small. Except for like the Big Show and Mark Henry. And they're freaks. They are not natural in the kaleidoscope of humanity. There's a soundly divided "We want Roman, Roman sucks" chants, and the chants coming "We want Roman" are of a higher octave than "Roman sucks." Strowman gets hit with a hang up on the top rope kind of jawbreaker, and I feel like Kalisto also used that leverage to kick out his ankles, which leads to Braun Strowman being put into the dumpster for the loss. But he landed on his feet. Wrote, wow, Strowman deadlifts Kalisto and chokeslams him 3 times. So basically, he gets him on the ground, picks him up, chokeslam, grabs him from the mat, picks him up, chokeslam. Fucking crazy. Um, he puts Kalisto into the dumpster, shuts the lid, rolls it up the ramp, locks it down with the ratchet straps that was on there. He acts as though he's gonna, okay, I'm done. I locked him in there. No, wait, I'm gonna push him off the edge. And he pushes him off the edge. We come back to we go to commercial, come back, instant replay of what just happened. It's like, I honestly feel like we were all robbed of an opportunity to see what Roman Reigns' character would do about this, or even see Roman, because I don't like Roman. I don't like the way they've written Roman Reigns. It's dumb. He's Super Cena 2.0, and that's terrible, because nobody should win all the time. That's not life. But in this case, showing Roman in the back going, wow, wow, ugh. A little nerves, you know? Nervous? Nervous? No, hell no, I'm not nervous. I want to beat the hell out of him, you know? But you can tell. Little hairline crack. And that's how that match ended. We come back to... we cut back to backstage where Kalisto is being loaded up on the gurney, walked through the back, and Kurt Angle's there to say goodbye, kind of get him going. Then they go to a vignette for Roman Reigns. I have never seen such desperation to get a wrestler over as they have expended here, and completely missed the fact that everybody hates Roman Reigns. You have to be the most casual of watchers to like Roman Reigns. I would like to see Roman be a dick, because I feel like that right there is what's needed for his character to develop. Because, and everybody talks about this, nobody wants to say it, and nobody wants to say this, so I'll say it, because nobody cares. Roman Reigns is worse than Seth Rollins when it comes to having no character. You want to talk about having a character? Let's point out the instances where Seth Rollins had character, apparently, because I didn't watch back this time, but there are a few people that mentioned, oh, when he was, WWE champion after, aligning with the Authority and then becoming U.S. champion, he was apparently the architect, and that really gave him a character. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no. And now who is he? We don't know. And Stone Cold slagged him off for it. Why not slag off Roman Reigns? He hasn't dropped the Shield gimmick. And the Shield happened 4 years ago. He's not undergone any changes. He hasn't altered himself at all. Seth Rollins at least got a new Titantron. It's the same shit we've been hearing forever. Generic hard rock. Nobody likes him. You go to crowds, he's booed. Just terrible. And I wrote here, not because he's a terrible wrestler, because I want to believe that the lineage that he has could mean that he's got some, decent in-ring chops. but he kind of is. He's only got a couple moves, and we don't need that. We've already got a couple part-timers that do that. And it's because they keep positioning him as an unbeatable Superman, I wrote. They need to stop doing it. In the vignette, they showed, like, he's standing in the ring and they mute the first part where he's getting in the ring and he's there. And then when he says, "It's my yard now," the absolute horrendously deafening boos that rained in on him. It just, you gotta realize nobody wants Roman Reigns on TV because his character is dumb. He can't be beaten. We get a Bray Wyatt promo, and I said this here and then somebody said it on Twitter. As much as I love the visuals and how much he buys into the character, you can't believe anything that Bray Wyatt says because he always lays out all these great promos and then loses. So I don't believe he's going to win on Sunday. I don't see it. We are treated to Dana Brooke. We go to commercial, come back. Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox. It's been a while since we've seen an Alicia Fox movie. Alicia Fox in-ring match. But then again, the same can be said for Dana Brooke. It's just been less long. Very early on, Alicia Fox hits a Northern Light suplex pinning combination. He gets a 2 count. Then Emma is seen, trundling down to the ring. I guess it's her ring gear because she's wearing the aviators and the small gloves and all that. I can't wait to see her in action. I hope we get she's just a wrecking crew, and the next person that can kind of match up with her is Nia Jax, and Nia Jax gets beat by her. So there you go. The end of the match. One of the worst Michinoku drivers I've ever seen. She she could barely hold up Alicia Fox. Her legs were trembling the whole time. She didn't, the way she did the move, and for those who don't get it, because you have your opponent here, you're supposed to spin him and sit down with him at the same time. And she didn't. She spun her, slammed her, and then, oh crap, I'm supposed to sit down. That's the win. Fucking worst. Dana Botch is absolutely a perfect nickname for her. Emma gets in the ring and gives Dana Brooke a hug, who is visibly getting supremely weirded out by the fact that Emma is doing this. We get a backstage interview with Samoa Joe and the Club. Apparently it's going to be a 6-man tag with Seth Rollins, Enzo, and Cass versus Samoa Joe and the Club. I wrote here, I think it would be an interesting angle if the Club ended up being in the employ of Triple H. There was a story, I haven't dug into it yet, but apparently they're holding off the Balor Club, and I want to get into the reasons why that happens. but I gotta read it. I haven't had a chance. We come back to Enzo and Cass coming to the ring, you know, for their match. Before they can even get in there, Gallows and Anderson, you know, pull Big Cass over the barricade, and they're beating him down. They come in and they hit Enzo with this, like, I think it was Anderson, like, Irish whipped Enzo into Carl Anderson, who gave him a big boot, and it looked like it just caught him flush in the face, and he was done. They got him up on, you know, they got him up and hit him with a magic killer on the outside before Seth Rollins can come out, you know, to, you know, fight everybody. And Big Cass comes back. I wrote here, it looked like Enzo might legit be hurt again. This is just a horrible run of luck for him, and I hope, and I'm gonna have to research that later to see if it was actually a legit injury, or if it was a work. You know, like we took out Enzo. We gotta bring in somebody else. Who are we gonna bring in? And Kurt Angle announces that since Enzo can't compete, they're gonna get another partner, and it's Finn Balor. I actually honestly hope this means his concussion, Finn's concussion, was like not as bad as they thought, and that Enzo doesn't have one. The fact that Big Cass can pick up Gallows, who is easily the biggest member, the bigger of the two of the club, into a fall-away slam is absolutely impressive. And then it struck me that the stupid part about the massive red flag, this is stupid part, is you kind of can't have Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins now, because they're working together. Terrible. Oh, it was actually really impressive as well to see Samoa Joe, as big as he is, do a step up enziguri. Every time I see it, it's just wow that he can get up that high, and he did it to Big Cass. No, I'm sorry, he did it to Finn Balor. Luke Gallows is tagged in, and he catches Finn Balor into a massive sidewalk slam before hitting Big Cass with a super kick. Like, he caught him, sidewalk slam, stands up, oh, you? Big kick, super kick. Goes for the elbow drop, misses. Balor makes the hot tag to Rollins. Seth Rollins debuts his new finishing move by, he had, I think it was Gallows in the hooks for the pedigree. He's like, no. Lets him go, stands him up, turns him around, spins him up, and, you know, jumping knee thing. I'm told it's a lot like the Rainmaker. Yeah, a lot like the Rainmaker, but instead of a clothesline, it's a knee. They show a replay of the women's #1 contenders match from last week, and Alexa Bliss starts cutting a promo. in the ring. Sorry. Her mic work is pretty damn good. Bayley comes out to interrupt. The stupidity level has skyrocketed, I wrote here, with the middle school-like mentality and questioning Bayley if she has ever kissed a boy. I am so completely sick of Sasha Banks inserting herself into things to do with Bayley without her turning on Bayley. The heel turn needs to happen immediately. Apparently Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss were going to have a match that tonight, and that we come back to them having it. There was a point where Bliss was, about to be put into the bank statement, and she not only gets her ankle on the rope, but she grabs the rope, and the ref makes, you gotta break that up. And so she rolls out of the ring and goes up the ramp to get herself intentionally disqualified. Bayley starts attacking her. Alexa Bliss then runs into the back, comes back out and blindsides Bayley, and is chased away by Sasha Banks. Cut to Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho talking about working cohesively. Dean's like, listen, I'm making amends here. Olive Branch, can you go ahead and take my name off the list? He's like, no, nobody gets off the list. But you know what? You did bring me this jacket all the way from Perry, and you're trying, I can see, to make up for it. And you know what? You just unmade the list. And he like scratches it out, and Dean's like, all right, yeah, cool. We'll go out there, we'll kick their ass, and it'll be great. We'll do this and this and this. And awesome, come on, thanks, man, come on. And tags him on the shoulder again. He like did it 3 times really roughly, and Jericho's like, so we can presume Dean Ambrose is back on the list. We go to commercial. We come back to an interview with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel about the Marine 5, before Miz just kind of, oh yeah, hey, I did the Marine as well, and you guys could tag with me, and I'll let you guys argue about it and fight about it. And Slater's like, Miz, that's great, but I already have a tag team partner, and in walks Rhino carrying a plate of crackers and a can of Cheese Whiz. Maurice upends the crackers after being offered one. Hey, you want a cracker? No cracker for you. See, now, if they actually did anything with that, it would be interesting, but they don't, because screw you for wanting things. The Miz is handed a note saying he has a tag team partner. We go to the ring where Curt Hawkins is cutting a promo, calls himself the Star Factory, and issues an open challenge, which is answered by Apollo Crews. Now, while Curt Hawkins is definitely a jobber at this point, I saw the point of having Finn Balor go out there. Big Show before that. Big Show's an established superstar. Finn Balor is going to be a megastar. I mean, there's no way he doesn't have multiple championship reigns in his future. Apollo Crews? What? Go away. Curt Hawkins has his share of offense. Apollo Crews hits this spin out, sit out power bomb on Apollo Crews, on Kurt Hawkins for the pinfall. Titus O'Neil comes out to celebrate with Apollo Crews, but Apollo Crews is increasingly bewildered by what's going on and wants no part of it. Titus even gets a selfie with him. And he's just confused. Interesting note, there are from the commercials. There's going to be another grind, and this shows you how bored I was with this show. There's going to be a Grindhouse style movie coming out very soon, called Blood Drive. Might go see it eventually. To pad out the show, pad out the time, they show the match between Strowman and Kalisto earlier. They then show the rivalry between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman as it has progressed so far. They also show the WWE.com interview of Roman Reigns. I don't know if he'll actually be here tonight, but I kind of doubt it, as his blood brother passed away very shortly, and he may be on bereavement leave. I mean, it makes sense, It's like, this guy is mourning the loss of somebody very close to him. And again, condolences to the Anoa'i family, because that's not easy. You can't get over that. But unfortunately, one of the things, or I guess, the joy of being that high in the company is that you can take some time. And personally, I don't even think I'd make him go through the match. I don't think I'd have him show up. Austin Aries is seen talking to Kurt Angle about some kind of stipulation for the main event of Payback before departing. He's like, I think this would be great. You should throw a stipulation in there. It'd be a great idea. I just, thought I'd share that thought with you. And, oh, hey, man, I brought you a banana. And Kurt's like, oh, thanks, man. The banana thing. The Reddit thing, okay, yeah, you made mention of the fact that somebody said, hey, if you, to any of you guys out there, work the banana in, let us know that you listen to us. You gotta drop a gimmick. You can't, once you keep doing a thing, it's not special anymore. Kurt Angle talks to Miz about, hey, who's your partner? You have a partner? Oh yeah, I got a partner. He's amazing. And Elias Sampson just saunters by, still playing the guitar. When the hell are we gonna see a match from him on the main roster? Jesus. We come back from commercial to have Dean Ambrose walk out before Chris Jericho, who is now wearing the light up jacket that Dean got him. The Miz, being accompanied by Maurice as always, makes his way to the ring. He retrieves a mic and announces his tag team partner without naming him. He's like, and here he is. I have an awesome tag team partner, and here he is. Nothing. Alright, screw it. I'm like, okay, screw it. You're going to be in a handicap match. That's going to happen now. Well, he's like, well, since my tag team partner can't make it, it's not my fault. We gotta cancel this. I'm not gonna do it. I gotta go talk to him. Kurt Angle comes out. No. Handicap match. Now. Do it. There was a point where, they fought. They're beating up Miz before the match proper starts, and pitches him out of the ring. Chris Jericho actually grabbed the Miz's sunglasses and put him on. Come back to the match actually being in firm control by Jericho and Dean Ambrose. Jericho did the flex pin. That was pretty cool. He gets a 1 count. Oh, something I didn't mention earlier, but it occurred to me at this point. The bruises on some of these superstars were highly visible. Like, Austin Aries had one that on TV looked very small, but The Miz had a massive, almost his entire, at least half of his thigh was fucking brown kind of bruise. And it was his left thigh. Real bad. Dean gets tagged and he's like, no, please don't, no, please don't. Can we, peace, let's, forget this whole thing. He's like, shake my hand, come on, shake my hand. And the crowd's like, no. And Dean's like, nah, bro. Shake my hand, slap. Okay, now you've pissed me off. Gets outside the ring, uses Maurice as a human shield and kicks Dean in the face before running him into the barricades. Go to commercial, come back. Dean makes the hot tag to Chris Jericho, who hits the lion salt on Miz, who tries to walk away. He gets attacked by Dean Ambrose from behind as he's going up the ramp. Dean sets him up for a announce table spot, and then we get the Bray Wyatt sting. And suddenly, instead of delivering dirty deeds to The Miz, he's facing Bray Wyatt, who delivers a Sister Abigail to Dean Ambrose into that big, because I thought it like the LED wall right there before the curtain. I wrote here, I think it's been quite a bit longer than a 10 count, so we're not doing the match anymore. This is not a thing. Jericho hits, I think he hit the code breaker on Miz before getting a Sister Abigail himself. He's standing there, over Chris Jericho, and Miz is like, yeah, me too. I'm here. I did this. Me. Yeah, good job, buddy. Good job, man. We did it. Bray turns and does what he does. Sister Abigail on the Miz. Truth is, there was nothing good in this. There was nothing really great about this Raw. For a go-home show, this was piss poor. To get a article rather than a full-on this, a promo from Roman Reigns, terrible. Apparently, the House of Horrors match has been switched once again back to being just a House of Horrors match that Bray Wyatt can win, but Randy Orton doesn't lose the WWE title at. And I'm going to watch it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch it. And I'm probably going to be severely disappointed. Yep, that's going to be a thing. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell too. That'll let you know when I do this kind of thing. And see you next time.